I did Marrakech for £100, Stockholm for just 70, but it's not luck, it's a system. Let me show you how I plan budget breaks. Let's build a plan. So here's the deal, every time I post one of these budget trips, someone says you must have got lucky. And sometimes I do, but honestly I don't gamble with my time or money. I've just built a method that helps me spot cheap flights, plan affordable stays and enjoy myself without obsessing over every penny. Which, trust me, I need to, because I've said many times before, I'm not rich, but I do love travel. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I plan one, from the first search on Google Flights to figuring out what I can actually do when I'm there, without going over budget or losing the plot. And just so you know, by the time you watch this, I'll be kicking back in Marrakech with sewing, so keep an eye out for our shorts while we're out there. If you've got your own planning trips or destination you want me to try this on, drop it in the comments. I am loving getting comments from you guys. It shows that I'm getting the engagement, that I must be doing something not totally wrong. Right, so this is where I normally start, Google Flights. It's my one stop. There are other ones, but I've just got used to this one. So we start by putting in our origin airports. I'm going to put more than just London, but I think we all know that London's going to be where the cheapest option comes up. And I'm not going to put anything in where to, nor departure or return dates, and I'm just going to click explore and see what it comes up with. Now there are other options on here whereby you can tell it to do one way only, which often does work, so you book them as two legs. So let's see where we're finding. Athens is expensive at the moment. Now I know I've been there for about £40 return, but we're looking for a city break. So let's see what's out there. Do you know what? I've never been to Istanbul. So it's showing about £63. Now I'm planning this trip for September, October, November because the weather's still nice out there and it's a cheaper time to fly. So let's go Istanbul. And at this point we still don't put any dates in and we just go to search. It really is that simple. Starting to see some cheap options in October, but in all fairness, they're not really bad in September either. But let's look at the 30th of October. And I fancy going for 3-ish nights. So let's see what it comes up with. Nothing much on the return side, so let's try a slightly later start date. This probably isn't going to be the best example, but we have found 18th of November to the 21st of November for £72. That's pretty reasonable considering the distance. Just for giggles, let's see what one of my other favourites would have come in at. Right, so we've got Athens from the 4th of December till the 7th of December, which is a 3-night break. I've been there before that time of year and it's fantastic. So you're looking at £65 round trip with Wizz Air. Now I know I can get a bit more off that because I'm a Wizz Air Discount Club member, so I would be probably looking at round about the £50 mark, which is pretty damn good. So going back to Istanbul again, let's just check that the flight times aren't ridiculous. Again, that's with Wizz Air from the 17th to the 21st, kicking in at £70. And you've got two options coming back where you can even have the last day where you're not leaving till 10 to 9, so it gives you an extra full day in resort. So you would arrive mid-afternoon, so that would give you half a day. That would give you half a day, all of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and half a day on the Friday. So you're actually getting 3 full days and 2 half days. But more importantly, yes, you've got a bit of an early flight on the first day, but you're not rushing around getting taxis in a strange city to get back to the airport on the last day. So I'm not going to proceed with Athens because I've done many videos about that before and I've been twice. So let's go with Istanbul let's pretend you're not in the Wizz Air Discount Club, so you're going to pay the 70 quid. So it's the 17th to the 21st. So yeah, 4 nights in Istanbul for £70 for flights. That's not bad at all. And no, I've never seriously considered Istanbul before, but this is how I get my ideas. I spot a price, a decent date, and I file it under, let's play with that in my head for a bit. It's exactly how I fell for Athens. Just a cheap flight one day, and before I knew it, I'd been there twice. Bingo. Now Istanbul's on the list. Not just a deal, but a proper maybe. You get the point. This isn't just luck, it's pattern spotting. Is this how you do it too, or do you start with a dream destination and work around it? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear. Right, now we've got our flight, let's find a place to stay that won't wreck the budget or the vibe. And I'll be honest, most of my deals start with Expedia. Can't go wrong really. Don't always use Expedia, there are other options out there, but it's always a good place to start. So I've entered my destination and my dates, and I'm just about to hit search. Well, I have hit search, and the first result up is 330 for 4 nights. Don't get me wrong, that looks alright, but let's see if we can tweak that a bit. Let's go to Istanbul city centre, and we will go by low to high. Now, as you can see, there's places here starting at 65, which for 4 nights is absolutely crazy. So let's find one I actually like the look of. Do you know what? Grand Istanbul Airport Hotel. It's got a pool as well. That's £98. That's £25 a night for 2 people. You can't really go wrong with that, but let's have a quick look. That doesn't look bad at all. Let's have a quick look at the gallery. It's close to the city. As I say, if I was doing this for real, I would be a little bit more selective. But yeah, that looks like a good hotel. It's got a 5.8 rating, which isn't great, but let's have a look at the reviews. You can normally filter out the rubbish here. A few people are complaining about corruption from the staff. That usually means someone ended up paying what they were paying. I'm going to be honest, it doesn't look great, but you are talking £25 a night for 2 people. Maybe not go with this one, but there's a reason I'm leaving this one on the reviews, is so that I spot it when I show you the other option that's coming up. So far we're up to £70 a person and £98 for the accommodation. That works out as £168 each for a 4-night break in Istanbul. You can see from the hotels there were other options. I might pick something with less poor reviews. But here's the real kicker. Let's put it into Expedia as a package. Right, search. Do exactly the same as I did last time. City centre. Sort by price. Now will you look at this? Grand Istanbul Airport Hotel at a whopping £113 each. That has come down by 60 quid by doing it as a package. Expedia say they're offering 2 nights free. So let's select a room. Well, let's go for the twin because I'll be going with one of the kids. So that's gone up by £7 per person. So now you're in at 120. It's still £48 cheaper than buying the separates. This doesn't always work, but on this occasion it has. And let's look at the flights. Going out with Wizz Air, which is exactly what we were going to do. And coming back with Wizz Air, you can either come back in the afternoon for €0 extra, or you can stay there a whole extra day, come back at 10 to 9 at night. Well, I'll do that. So you're now up to £123 each. That's unbelievable. You really can't fault that. It's don't know how many stars, but it has a pool. It's a city centre hotel, and you've got your flights, and it's 4 nights for £123 each. That's probably one of my best deals yet. But let's make it a little bit more interesting. Let's pretend we'd gone with the Athens deal. Now Athens was December the 4th till the 7th. Again, we're going by price. Wow, the Sparta Team Hotel, that's a hostel, that comes in at £93 each. The Pergamos, now I've stayed in the Pergamos before and it was not bad. It's in Ammonia, it's not the best area, but it's walking distance from Ammonia Square where the tube is, and yeah, you're hopping into the centre of Athens in literally minutes. And this is the actual room I had. You don't get that view, but it's, it's not shabby, is it? It's a very basic hotel, there's no restaurant, there's no bar, but it does have a balcony. Bingo. In the space of a few minutes, I don't know how far we are into the video, probably no more than 5 or 6, I found 2 holidays for under £120. One of them's in Turkey for 4 nights, the other's in Athens for 3. Bingo. Now I think the Athens one works out just as cheap buying them as separates, but it just shows, doesn't it? So let's say Istanbul lands on your radar. 4 nights, flights for £70, hotel options, whole package in at £120. That's not a dream, that's how I build trips. And in this case, it was cheaper to do it as a package for Expedia, and you get the atoll protection. Limited, but you get some. And if you're wondering what to do there, well, easy. First of all, it's a capital city. There will be stuff to do. It's more modern than you think. But you've also got the Blue Mosque and Hagia Sophia. You can cruise the Bosphorus. There's some great trips from there. You can explore the Grand Bazaar, sip Turkish tea on a rooftop, or even go full hammam. if you're braver than me. But your friend in this case will always be Viator. There are so many options, and you don't actually have to pay for them. You can get the spirit of what they're up to and plan it yourself. That's what I do in a lot of cases. But that was how Athens started as well. I saw it cheap, dug around and thought this could be a laugh. And the next thing I knew, I'd been twice. Once with Book, once with Mum. If you want to see how they turned out, why not have a look at one of my trips here where I got it for £90. And now, well, I don't think I'm going to be booking either yet because there's so much more of the year left. But either way, I know I've got options for November or December again this year. Possibly both, you never know. But knowing me, we'll end up somewhere completely different, because once you start using this process, the choices just keep stacking up. And of course, I'm an analog kind of guy. I write them down so I remember what I've done before. So where do you think I'll end up next? Why don't you drop a guess below? Maybe I'll see you there. But I really hope I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.